So folks know that I like doing flashlight reviews. A lot of folks have asked me, is there a flashlight that can do just about anything that I need it to do? Well, folks, you asked and you shall receive. Well, folks, if you haven't heard of the Olight Marauder Mini, this is going to blow your minds, folks. First, what I want to do, I just want to skip before we get into specifications and all the what some people call the boring parts. Let's get into these night shots. I want to show you the performance of this light and everything that it can do, from a thrower to a floodlight to having RGB capabilities, like from red lights to green lights to blue lights, to make everything work. And I'll explain all that in regards to why a red light is important, or a green light, or a blue light, why throw is important, why flood is important. Well, let's get into the night shots, and then we'll bounce back to me and go over the specifications of the Olight Marauder Mini, and we'll do a comparison. I've owned the Marauder 2 for quite some time, but folks, you're going to love this. All right, folks, this is Grey here, and we're here to do this night test of the Marauder Mini. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and get it set up for the lowest setting possible. There we go. So we're going to start with flood, just so that you can see that flood there. And then we're going to slowly add it and keep on bringing that up. See if I can get that on camera. Bringing the light up till it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. Kind of want you guys to see that beam. This is the flood here. I mean, it's lighting up this entire field, folks. Look at that. I got some new ideas for you folks. It's a bit windy and loud out here, but there we go. That makes it better. I'm gonna go behind the camera so you guys can actually see how much light that this thing produces when it's maxed out. It's crazy. This whole entire field, and this is a huge field, as you can see that there. All right, so let's go into the throw mode. All right, so what we're going to do here is switch over from this flood to the throw and kind of give you guys an idea of that beam distance on that. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is the park that's way over there. And I'm going to cut across there like that. Now, it does not do it justice on film. Look at that. Again, that's the park that's way over there. All right, so what I'm going to do now, folks, is I'm going to show you the red, the green, and the blue. And I turned the camera around towards these bushes across the street over here, just so that you can see the illumination of the red itself. I don't know how well it's coming across on the camera. That's your red there. Not too bad. All right, now this is the green. And when we get back to the bench, I'm going to explain the pros and cons of green, blue, and red lights. But you definitely see a lot more with this, the clarity and the trees over there and whatnot, as I'm panning across. There we go, not too bad. Well, let's go ahead and move to the blue, and the blue is going to be that weird color. You'll see what I mean. All right, so now we're in the blue mode. You can kind of see it highlights the road and whatnot. You can see that in the grass there. Like again, when we get back to the house, I'll explain how each one of these colors work for you in regards to the process of why they're on this flashlight. All right, folks, so what I'm going to have my do is my buddy's going to drive all the way out there, and he is going to reverse the light on me. He's going to use the flood on me from the distance that he's at, and then he's also going to use the spot on me where he's at, just to see what it looks like if someone was flashing this light at you or using this light on you from that distance. Now he's flashing it directly at me. So he is definitely lighting me up from that distance. That is very interesting. I'm just trying to mess around with some different shots and stuff in regards to what it's like being on one end of the flashlight and what's being on the other end of the flashlight. But the distance of that light is no problem at all. So in this frame, he is driving towards me using the light here. Kind of give you an idea of the beam itself. Night shots are always very, very interesting. All right, so for the folks that want to know what you get in the box when you buy that, this is the box here. This is kind of like that 17th anniversary midnight blue kind of look. You can see it on the light itself. What do you get in the box? You're going to get a user manual, as well as some other paperwork in regards to the light itself. Of course, you're going to get a way to charge the light there via the magnetic clip. You're going to get a, what do they call these? These lanyards. And you're going to get this holster if you want to carry something like this. Now, they have a couple options if you want to hang it off of your bag or something like that, or, you know, with a carabiner or whatnot. They also have the belt clip itself that you can put it on. It's pretty decent material, fits the light pretty good. I'll go ahead and slap that in there. And that's going to cover that right there. I think the weight of this is about 1 pound. But all in all, it fits in there pretty good. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and take this out and pull it out of the sheath there. Anyways, let's kind of look up close at this light here, folks. Also, I wanted to say it has a removable battery. So I thought that was nice. Look at the size of that battery, folks. That is a 32650. It's one of the biggest batteries I've seen. I like the fact that you can remove this battery. 6,500 milliamps, folks. Very nice. And to kind of give you an idea, let me put this back on together and kind of give you an idea of the size comparison, because that is the Marauder Mini. Let me move that to the side there and reach over here and grab the Marauder 2. As you can see, there's definitely a big difference in size of the two lights themselves. I've had this thing for quite some time. It's been one of my favorite lights. As you can see, kind of the difference in there. But the biggest difference, the key takeaway from these two lights, and what if I can hold them with one hand, is these RGBs in here as well. As you can see, this one has all white LEDs, and these have a multitude of variations of that, but still puts out a tremendous amount of power. All right, so let's kind of look at that bezel right there. It does have that kind of beveled edge there. It is very robust if you had to use this as a weapon or whatnot. And this grip, this rubberized grip, goes all the way around it, outside of your control center here, so that when you have it in your hand, it feels good. And you know, I have pretty big hands, and it still feels pretty good. I'm still able to hit all the functions and whatnot with the light itself. All right, so let's dive in the functionality and what all this means. It looks a little complicated, but it's really not, folks. So if I move this dial a little bit, you can kind of see this here. This is your battery indicator, and over here is going to be your lumens indicator, which is right here, which is very low. So if I was to take this and push this button one time, it's going to turn the light on and it's going to be at 1 lumen. And as you increase this, the lumens get brighter and brighter and brighter as you go. So you have those options. And you can see this thing is putting out some serious light. I'm not going to face it towards the camera. It also has a vibration. I don't know if you can hear that. Let me see if I can get this close to the mic. So when you go all the way up, it has like this little vibration to let you know it's reached its peak, as well as it lets you know also that it's reached it bottoms out, where it's its lowest lumens or its highest lumen mark. Now, if you have this thing in flood and you want to throw it into a thrower, just a click of a button, folks. Just a click of a button, it's going to make that into a thrower and give you that distance, that 600 meters, or roughly a little under 2,000 feet. Again, this thing is 7,000 lumens. Go back to flood. Easy peasy. So anyways, that's the basics of the controls itself. So if some folks may ask, well, how can I get into turbo mode really quickly and whatnot? You have a couple options there as well. All right, so let's say you have this here, and let's say you're down at the low lumens level, like right there, and you all of a sudden you hear a noise and you want to go into turbo mode. Double tap that thing, and that thing is just going to put out maximum lumens on you just by double tapping that button. We can triple tap that and it's going to go into strobe mode, but I'm not going to do that because some people are susceptible to extremely bright lights. When you turn it off, it kind of gives you also an indicator of how much power is left in the unit itself. So let's go into the functions of how to get to the red, green, and blue lights. And all you're going to do is hold this button down, and you're going to see that the lights have come on. And then I'm going to hold it again, and you're going to see that the red emitter is on. Hold it down again. Green emitter is on. Hold it down again. And we're going to get into our blue emitter as well. So some folks may ask why all the different color lights and why are they important? All right, so let's go over why a red emitter is important in regards to having it in a flashlight. Well, it helps you keep your night vision so that if you're light sensitive at the night, it doesn't wreck your night vision. Not night vision goggles, but your night vision. So your eyes adjust to the night, a certain light spectrum. So when you use a red light, you're not kind of like ruining that. Your eyes are still well adjusted to the evening hours. Basically, your eyes have these light sensitive cells in your eyes that react to bright white lights. Hence why red light is also great for camping, so that you don't disturb your folks if you happen to be looking for something. Also, red light is also the universal signal for attention, emergencies, or signaling for safety, and so on and so forth. And you do have the same adjustments on here as you would with the other lights to make it super bright. And that's with each one of the RGBs. So let's go ahead and move over to the next light, which is your green light right there. Again, you have that option to adjust. And green light is basically a kind of a contrast and clarity kind of light. So if you're looking at topo maps or instruments with finite details, this is a light that you might want to have, because a red light is going to wash out those blue lines and other lines that are in your maps, at least from my experience, depending on the type of map that you're looking at. And funny enough, a lot of folks that I've talked to that do a lot of hunting say that green lights attracts deer and other wild game. It's like I said, it has this increased sharpness when you're using it to navigate with, and you get some of the longest runtime running a green light as well. I think it's the 525 nanometer or nano something spectrum or whatnot, but those are just some of the benefits to a green light. And again, folks, do your own research. This is just the research and information that I've been privy to, that I'm kind of telling you from my experiences and my experiences only, as well as conversations that I've had with other folks. All right, let's go ahead to move over to the blue light. Now, blue light is less effective for preserving your night vision. As you can see, it kind of messes with the camera a bit, right? But anyways, some people do use a blue light for map reading. I prefer the green because it gives you that, like I said, contrast and clarity. But you have folks that use it for that. For some reason, it just doesn't work for me. But this works great for people that are in law enforcement or any type of that kind of environment, or folks that are out there hunting, because it can see blood and bodily fluids in a visible spectrum. I don't know if you can kind of see there. I don't really have bodily fluids and blood on this mat, but it does have that option. It kind of gives you that weird look, right? But one thing about blue lights, let me see if I can turn this down a little bit so it's not so bright. One thing about the blue light is one of the only lights that can cut through fog really, really, really well. So if you're in a fog-prone environment and you need to shine some light so that that light doesn't reflect back upon you, having a blue light is also a benefit to the folks that are out there dealing with fog. Hence why a lot of fog lights have this blue kind of color to them. And also, a lot of people will use this in maritime situations as well. People on sailboats and boats and stuff like that. And folks who are familiar with that probably know they've had a blue light on their ship or vessel or so on and so forth. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. That kind of gives you an idea of all the different light spectrums and why they're important, and how having a flood, a thrower, having the red light, having the green light, having the blue light, and having the availability to adjust and the intensity, how high you want it, how low you want it, is super awesome. And having a one light that can pretty much handle everything that you can throw at it, especially with the durability, the compactness of it. Like I said, it weighs in at 1 pound, maybe a hair over, like 1 pound and an ounce. Or I think it's right around 1 pound, even with the battery in it. So again, hence why I think this is going to be the new light that will be in my vehicle at all times, because it covers everything that I could possibly think of using a light for. No matter what environment, what situation happens to arise, this light would work for those scenarios. Also with the replaceable battery, if I buy 3 or 4 of those and keep those charged, I don't have to worry about power. So I can always keep some being charged, some charged, and if I have to keep this thing charging as well, I'm always going to have a way to illuminate, or maximum option to illuminate a lot of different things no matter what happens to be that situation. Folks, again, this is probably by far one of the most favorite lights that I've had so far to review on the channel. It is a beast. I've never reviewed the Marauder 2. If I can reach back over here. If you guys want to see this monster in action, I can do a review down the road, maybe next month. On that, there's a comparison review that I want to do this with another light, because I said this not on sale is like 200 bucks. This one's like over 300. This other light that I'm going to leave blank right here because I need to do the review on that light, I'm going to compare it to this one because it's very close. I could probably use all 3 of them to compare all the lights to, but it's about 80 to 100 bucks. And the only reason, there's some pros and cons to that light, and it's good, but like I said, I kind of want to save that for a different video. But anyways, folks, the Marauder Mini, I don't think you could go wrong if you happen to purchase this light. It's just, it fits everything. Again, I'm looking forward to reading all your comments on a light like this, and what you would use it for, and what are your thoughts of having every possible option on a light. Because last time I did a video on a thrower, and some folks were like, well, I need flood more than this. Or someone also said, hey, well, do they have one that has both? Well, here's your answer. This has both and then some. One other last thing I want to add is someone may ask me about the runtime on a light like this. And it has about a 43.5 hour max runtime, depending on where you have it set at. And it's due to the battery that's in here, because this is a 24 watt hour 650 battery. 24 watt hours in this monster, folks. Pretty neat. All right, folks. Again, this, as you know, I really love this light, man. It kind of checks off everything I'm looking for in a light. And the really good thing about this happening right now and doing this review at this point in time is Olight is celebrating their 17th anniversary. And I think it launches the 14th of April. I think it's on a Sunday or something like that. I know I have another review to do for these folks of some of their other stuff, but I wanted to separate the two because this thing stands out. I'm really looking to hear your thoughts on something like this. And I know a lot of people are going to ask, well, Grey, what does a light like that cost? And folks, you're always going to pay for what you get for. I don't know what the sale price is yet, right? And if you ever find something that's, if you don't have the opportunity to pick something up on a sale that they have, I always leave the discount code that you can use down below, and usually on a pinned comment with my affiliation with Olight. Outside of that, MSRP, something like this is going to run you about 200 bucks or 199 bucks. But again, you get the warranty and all the coolness of this light. This light might not be for everybody, but for me, it's so far one of my favorite, probably one of my go-to pieces of equipment now, just because it serves every possible thing that I could think of that I would need a light for. It's not very heavy. It has the RGB components on it. It has the flood. It has the throw. It has a long life. It feels good. It's durable. It can get wet. I mean, folks, man, I'm just so happy that they sent me one of these to do a review on, because I've been looking at this thing for a long time. I told you I bought the Marauder 2, and that was, I think, over 300 bucks I paid for that light. Not many folks would do that, but if you remember some of the old school lights, some of the durable lights, you were easily paying 100 to a couple hundred bucks for. The way they've shrunk this down and put everything you can possibly think of in a light is very innovative. Outside of that, again, like I said, what are your thoughts, folks? Do you think this is something that would fit great in an everyday carry situation? Is it too big still for you? Do you still need something that's a little bit smaller? Is this something that you would keep in your truck, camper, slash RV, take on a camping trip, hunting trip? I mean, the possibilities for me, looking at it from my perspective, is endless. Outside of that, I was just happy to share this with you, the viewers. As always, folks, if you got any value out of the video itself, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you are new here, take the time to subscribe, check out some of the playlists as well. And as always, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on the light itself. and some of the lights that you guys carry for either EDC or camping, and the list goes on, hunting and whatnot, or just something that you want to use on the farm to light something up because you know the dogs are barking, you hear some noises and whatnot, and you just need a lot of power in your hand at a moment's notice. Other than that, folks, remember, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound. God bless every single one of you folks out there. And again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.